For weeks now, we've been faced with so much uncertainty coming from President Trump. It's hurting workers, it's hurting businesses, it's hurting investments, and it's hurting families on both sides of the border. It needs to end.
Canada, long regarded as America's most dependable energy ally, has made a stunning move. One that's already sending shockwaves through oil markets, disrupting supply chains, and leaving Washington scrambling for a solution that doesn't even exist. Fuel prices are about to soar. Industries are bracing for impact. And your everyday life, from the food on your table to the power in your home, is about to change in ways no one expected. For decades, the U.S. assumed Canada would always be a reliable partner. That assumption is now a costly mistake. With new global deals on the table, Canada doesn't need the U.S. like it used to, and it's wasting no time shifting its resources elsewhere. But why now? What forced Canada to pivot so sharply? And what does this mean for your gas prices, your power bills, and your job security? Let's break it all down. Because this isn't just an energy story, it's an economic reckoning. How it all started and why it's worse than you think. The signs were always there, but few in Washington paid attention. Canada was the silent engine behind American power. It supplied the oil that fueled U.S. industries, homes, and highways. It sent hydroelectric energy across the border, keeping cities lit and factories running. But that quiet reliability has now collapsed. And this isn't just another short-term political spat. It's a calculated shift, a strategic realignment that's been years in the making. Canada isn't just stepping away from the U.S., it's stepping into a new era. One where it's no longer bound by American trade deals or dependent on American demand. Washington believed Canada had no other options. That belief? A fatal miscalculation. The one mistake that drove Canada away. For decades, the unspoken rule was simple. Canada needed the American market, and the U.S. needed Canadian energy. It was a relationship built on mutual benefit, or so it seemed. But that balance began to unravel when Washington slapped aggressive tariffs on Canadian exports. What was meant as a show of economic strength quickly snowballed into a trade war. Canada didn't retaliate immediately. It warned, it negotiated, it waited.
If ever there were tariffs on Tuesday, as we have all seen, as we were ready to do last time, we will have a strong, unequivocal, and proportional response as Canadians expect.
But Washington didn't listen. And when the U.S. doubled down on protectionism, Canada made a decision that changed everything. It walked away. Not with rage, with precision. It ramped up infrastructure projects. It sought out new buyers. It signed massive long-term deals with countries that were eager to pay. And in doing so, it rewrote its role in the global energy market without the U.S., where Canada's oil is going, and why it's a nightmare for the U.S. While Washington was focused on internal politics, Canada moved fast. It redirected its oil and gas exports to Asia and Europe. Countries like China and India jumped at the chance to secure reliable, long-term supplies. Europe, still reeling from Russian energy disruptions, wasted no time locking in deals with Canadian producers. Pipelines are being rerouted. LNG terminals are no longer pointed south. They're sending fuel across oceans. This isn't just a pivot, it's a complete reorientation of global energy flows. And America? It's been left behind. U.S. gas prices are about to explode. Think prices at the pump are high now? You haven't seen anything yet. With Canadian crude off the table, American refineries must turn to more expensive, unstable sources, places like Venezuela, Nigeria, or the Middle East. That means higher transport costs, more volatility, and less control. Airlines will raise ticket prices. Trucking companies will raise shipping rates. Grocery bills will climb. The entire supply chain, from agriculture to manufacturing, will feel the squeeze. And every American household will pay the price. Washington is in panic mode, and there's no easy exit. Inside the White House, the alarms are ringing. Emergency meetings are being held. Lawmakers are split. Some want to roll back tariffs and restore the Canadian relationship. Others demand increased domestic drilling and energy independence. But here's the truth. There is no quick fix. Drilling projects take years. Infrastructure takes even longer. And even if Canada returned to the table, its priorities have shifted. It doesn't need the United States like it once did. Blackouts incoming. The power grid shock no one saw coming. And this crisis isn't just about fuel. Canada also supplied hydroelectric power to key U.S. states: New York, Michigan, even parts of California. With that support vanishing, the electric grid is under serious strain. Some states are already preparing for rolling blackouts this winter. Electricity prices are surging, and local governments are being forced to consider rationing power during peak hours. There's no replacement ready, and no time to build one. Factories at risk: how the energy collapse could kill jobs. The economic fallout goes far beyond households. Factories that once thrived on cheap Canadian energy are now struggling to stay open. Automakers, steel producers, and technology manufacturers are warning of mass layoffs. Some companies are considering moving operations overseas, to countries where energy is cheaper and supply chains are more reliable. This could hollow out America's industrial heartland, leaving towns and workers behind. And the longer this goes on, the harder it will be to bring those jobs back. Canada's rise: how it became an energy superpower overnight. While the U.S. scrambles, Canada is rising. It's signing billion-dollar deals with Europe and Asia. It's building pipelines, upgrading ports, and investing in renewables. And it's doing so with confidence. For decades, Canada played second fiddle to American energy dominance. Not anymore. Now it's setting the rules, and the world is watching. Can the United States bounce back? These are the only three options. Washington now faces a critical choice, one with no easy answers. Option 1: rebuild the Canadian partnership. But trust has been broken, and Canada's priorities have shifted. Option 2: ramp up domestic energy. But drilling takes time, environmental hurdles are steep, and investment confidence is shaky. Option 3: find new suppliers. But that means dependence on nations like Saudi Arabia or Venezuela, countries with unstable politics and volatile pricing. Each option is risky, and none come without pain. China's energy grab, and why America should be worried. While the U.S. hesitates, China is advancing. It's signing new energy deals with Canada, Russia, Africa, and the Middle East. It's securing long-term supplies and creating a global energy web that leaves the U.S. out. And unlike Washington, Beijing isn't arguing about policy, it's executing a plan. China's influence is growing, its energy costs are falling, and the more power it gains, the harder it becomes to challenge. The domino effect and what it means for every American. This isn't just about energy, it's about economic survival. Rising gas prices, surging electric bills, higher food costs, job losses, market instability. It's all connected. And it all starts with losing a supplier the U.S. thought it could always count on. America is now facing a hard truth. Energy independence was never guaranteed. And without urgent action, the country may fall further behind, while the rest of the world moves forward. The question now is simple. Can the U.S. catch up before it's too late? Let us know what you think in the comments. Is this a wake-up call for Washington, or is it already too late to turn back the clock? If you found this breakdown helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more no-nonsense breakdowns of global issues, and share this video with someone who needs to see what's really going on. Because this story isn't over.